It's good news, of course. He just told me yesterday after meetings and stuff, so it's definitely good news to hear.
Justin, what did you expect this week? Were you surprised at all by the news? Because Matt's been so publicly clear that Andy would be the starter when healthy, so did it catch you off guard at all?
I would say I was a little bit surprised, but not really crazy surprised, but definitely a little bit of surprise. But I feel like he was pretty straightforward with me and Andy. I think my teammates believe in me. Just grateful for the opportunity and just trying to get ready to work.
Justin, Matt has used the word growth in terms of what has given him the belief in you to take this on. As you've kind of reflected on these last 2 or 3 weeks, where do you feel like you've made the most growth during that period?
I feel like I've grown in pretty much every area. Usually, like when I make a mistake in a game, make a mistake in practice, I just try to focus on those things each and every day and just get better. So I'm trying to get better at every aspect of quarterbacking, from just getting the ball out of my hands, from drops, timing, and stuff like that. So just trying to grow in every area.
What have you learned about the Monday to Saturday process, and where have you found ways to kind of tweak your routine and make it sharper for yourself?
I probably switched my routine up maybe like 2 weeks ago. So I'm in a pretty good routine now. So I'm just gonna continue to do that and maybe alter it a little bit, just depending on how I feel. So yeah.
Justin, did you expect to be the starting quarterback at some point in time this year for the Bears?
I think so, yeah. I think, that was my goal before the season started, so,
Justin, can you lean forward to the mic a little bit?
Oh, sorry, my fault.
Justin, you said the way you took the news and Coach described you as stoic. Was there a moment last night or anything where it really sunk in? Maybe when you called a parent or a friend or something where, it is a pretty monumental moment in someone's career.
No, my parents were actually at my house last night. I told them, and they wanted to go out to celebrate, and I told them, nah, I'm cool, because I'm trying to win this weekend. So, there's nothing. Of course, there's some reason to celebrate, but I'm not just gonna be complacent with where I'm at. I'm gonna continue to grow, continue to get better, and just try to work hard each and every day to get wins on Sundays. So.
They didn't go out without you?
They went out without me. Yeah. So.
Where'd they go?
At home. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they went last night, but yeah, they went out without me last night.
Did you celebrate were you just home alone?
I was just home, yeah, with my dog Uno, watching film last night. So that's all I was doing.
What was your conversation with Andy Dalton?
Yeah, so after it happened yesterday, Andy called me on the way home, and he just told me it was a great opportunity for me, and that he'd be here, for it all, for everything I needed, and he just didn't want it to be awkward. He didn't want our relationship to change because of the situation. So I told him that was very comforting to hear from him. I think our relationship has just grown over the past few months, and it's going to continue to grow each and every day. So Nick and Andy, they've both been great to me, and they've taught me a lot, and of course I'm going to be leaning on those guys for the rest of the season to just learn as much as I can from them.
Justin, not really about football, but that video of you after the game buying candy from kids sort of blew up. I'm just sort of curious what the backstory is about that and sort of how it feels. I know you've had fans before, but what it's like to sort of be embraced as much as you have so far.
That's for every time I pass like a homeless person and I have cash in my car, I always give it to them. So that really wasn't anything new. That time it just happened to be caught on camera. So I just, like I said before, I just like helping people. So every time I see somebody on the road, with a sign up or something, and then I have some spare cash, I always help them out. So.
What candy was it?
I don't know. I didn't even buy the candy. I just gave them the money. So yeah.
What was the process like last week when Matt and the coaches kind of reached out to the players about, hey, how can we fix this on offense? Like, how did that go?
How did the conversation go?
Yeah, what was that process like? What was your takeaway?
It was just, the whole offense and, Coach Nagy in one room, and we were all kind of congregating on, what suggestions some players might have on to, what we need to do on offense to improve and get better. And, some people chimed in on, their thoughts and stuff like that, and Coach Nagy took that to heart. And I think he, put it in the game plan last week. So, that's just props to Coach Nagy for listening to us and, kind of just putting in what the players want and what the players thought to, get us more confident about the game plan and stuff like that, and kind of us all on the same page about everything.
Listen, on Sunday, there were times you were under center, you had 3 tight ends on the field. That's very different than what Ohio State looked like last year. And how were you able to adjust to something that might have felt foreign at first, and in what ways do you think it played to your strengths?
I mean, it's not that big of a I guess it's a big difference, yeah. Of course, the personnel and stuff, but I mean, from practicing and stuff like that, I just getting used to it over time, and just repping it out with my teammates and stuff like that. So when we do it so much in practice, it just comes easy in the game.
When David at the time, and Damian maybe going forward, is able to run the ball successfully out of formations like that, how much easier?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that makes my job way easier, of course. When the defense sees that we're in, that kind of personnel, they're most likely thinking run, so it definitely sets up the play action well, and gets the passing game going a lot.
As you went through the film of Sunday, what did you feel best about, and where did you identify some things where, as you looked at it on film, you said, man, I need to get better there?
I felt like we had a lot of explosive plays on Sunday, so that was definitely good to see, and there were a lot of stuff, that I can get better at. So I'm not going to necessarily say what it is, because I just feel like, that's just kind of, I don't want to say my weaknesses out in public, but yeah.
Justin, I know that, some of the approach this past week was to run the ball, somewhat of a conservative approach with some of the extra tight ends. But is your first instinct in your head to make the big play, like the 64-yarder to Darnell Mooney? Is that what you're thinking, big plays?
I'm just going through my reads. If it's there, it's there, but I'm not going to try to force it downfield if it's not there. So, yeah.
Justin, learning from your mistakes is obviously a huge part of this process. Even now, were the things you did last week or have done now that you learned, that illustrate the idea that you have learned, things you couldn't do week 1 of the preseason, week 1 of the regular season that you now did like last week?
Were there stuff that I...
Does it illustrate that you learned, it's something you do now because you learned from a mistake?
Not really. I would just say, like, throws that I miss is just getting in that rhythm and kind of getting the timing down and stuff like that, and just learning different movements. So just, correcting myself when I know I'm doing something wrong on a certain throw or something like that. Just trying to coach myself up as much as possible to continue to get better.
Justin, knowing today that you were the starter not only Sunday but going forward, does that affect the way you lead your teammates? Can you speak with a little more authority today than you could have 2 or 3 weeks ago?
I think, just because I'm a starter doesn't mean anything. I think, our whole team kind of knows who our leaders are, and just because they're starters or not, they can still speak up. So we have those leaders on the team where just the way that they work, the way that they carry themselves on and off the field, they also have, that leadership role in the team. But, of course, I'm being the quarterback, you can pretty much say whatever you want. Like, just you don't have to really put others, players, I guess, feelings in account, because, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like if you're worried about, hurting somebody's feelings, then you're not going to tell them the truth. And if you're not going to tell them the truth, then that's not getting anybody better. So when you're correcting somebody or when you're trying to, tell something to your teammate, you can't really take their feelings into account, because, that doesn't matter. Winning matters. So, yeah, I guess you could say that.
The Justin Fields era is officially underway. For a lot of Bears fans, draft night with your selection was the best day the Bears have had since the '85 Super Bowl. I know right now you are caught up in the day-to-day and just trying to improve every day, but have you given yourself an opportunity to envision what the next 10, 15 years looks like?
You said what?
Have you given yourself the opportunity to envision what the next 10 to 15 years looks like for you as the Bears franchise quarterback?
I don't even know if we're going to be on this earth for the next 10, 15 years. That I'm just worried about today and tomorrow. So, I'm just taking it day by day.
Justin, Matt's talked about the kind of the patience and understanding that both the coaches and you are going to have moving forward, understanding that you're still growing and learning on the job. So how do you kind of keep that in perspective? I
mean, yeah, you just have to understand that, there's going to be mistakes made, and you just have to learn from those mistakes and try to not make those mistakes twice. So, every snap I get, I'm going to, see what I could have done better and see what I need to work on and just keep improving.
To Coach Lazor's calm on Sunday afternoon, what struck you about that, and in what ways did it feel like it was beneficial and helpful to just have that connection with him?
I mean, yeah, he calls plays in practice, so I mean, I'm used to hearing his voice anyways, but I mean, yeah, pretty much like I said, he doesn't have to worry about the defense. He doesn't have to worry about special teams. He's just up in the box, overlooking the field and stuff like that. So he's definitely in a calmer setting and stuff like that. That's kind of his personality. He's kind of kind of calm and kind of laid back. So I definitely like that about Bill.
Thanks, Justin.